India's most celebrated tech company. $1 billion in the bank. All of it conned, completely fake.
India's most celebrated tech company, serving Fortune 500 clients worldwide. $1 billion in the bank. All of it completely fake. The founder called the company Truth. This is Satyam. For years, it was India's pride, a technology giant serving Fortune 500 companies worldwide. The founder received India's highest business honor. Presidents celebrated him. Prime ministers praised him. He had built something from nothing that had made India proud on the global stage. Then, one morning in January 2009, he sat down, he wrote a letter, and he confessed everything. This is Satyam Computer Services, and this is the story of how one man's fraud shook the foundation of an entire nation's confidence. Ramalinga Raju was born in 1954 in Andhra Pradesh. He was not born into wealth. He built it, piece by piece, over decades. In 1987, he founded Satyam Computer Services. Satyam, meaning truth in Sanskrit. The name itself would become one of history's greatest corporate ironies. By the 2000s, Satyam was India's fourth largest IT services company. It had over 53,000 employees. It served over 185 of the Fortune 500 companies. Its clients included names like General Electric, Nestle, and the government of the United States. In 2008, the World Council for Corporate Governance gave Raju its Golden Peacock Award for excellence in corporate governance. Corporate governance. But for years, inside Satyam, the numbers had been a fiction. Raju had been inflating the company's cash and bank balances. The company reported having over $1 billion in cash on its books. In reality, it had almost none. He had been creating fake invoices, fake clients, fake projects. Revenues were overstated by hundreds of millions. The profits that Satyam reported did not exist. How did he hide it? With the help of his internal finance team, he created thousands of fake bank statements, fake confirmations from banks, fake letters, fake documents. PricewaterhouseCoopers, one of the world's most respected audit firms, audited Satyam for years. They signed off on accounts that were entirely fabricated. Whether they were negligent or complicit was never fully resolved. In December 2008, Raju attempted to make the problem worse. He tried to have Satyam acquire two companies owned by his own family for over $1.6 billion. The acquisitions were overpriced. The reason was obvious. He was trying to use Satyam's money to cover the hole in its accounts. The board rejected the deal. Investors were furious. The stock collapsed 30% overnight. Raju was cornered. On January 7, 2009, he sat down and wrote a letter to the Satyam board of directors. In the letter, he confessed everything. $1.47 billion in fake assets, fabricated cash balances, inflated revenues, a fraud sustained over years. He described himself as a man who had ridden a tiger, not knowing how to get off without being eaten. The Indian stock market fell sharply on the news. Indian IT companies saw their stocks collapse, investors panicking that Satyam was not an exception, but a symptom. The Indian government moved quickly. The company law board suspended Satyam's board. The government appointed its own directors. Satyam was eventually sold to Tech Mahindra in 2009 for an amount that was a fraction of what it had once been worth. 53,000 employees, who had done nothing wrong, faced an uncertain future. Overnight, Ramalinga Raju was arrested in January 2009. In 2015, after a trial that lasted 6 years, he was convicted of fraud, cheating, forgery, and breach of trust. He was sentenced to 7 years in prison. PricewaterhouseCoopers, the auditors, paid a settlement to American investors who had bought Satyam's American-listed shares. The two PwC partners who had signed off on Satyam's accounts were barred from practicing accounting in India. They were not criminally prosecuted. So what is the real lesson of Satyam? Satyam means truth. The company built on truth was built entirely on lies. The award for corporate governance, given to a man running one of the most corrupt corporate structures in Indian history. The lesson of Satyam is not about India. It is about what happens when national pride becomes a reason to stop asking hard questions. When a company is celebrated as a symbol, it becomes almost impossible to question it, because to question the company feels like questioning the country. That is the most dangerous shield any fraudster can have. That is the capital case. The truth does not care what name you give your company. Subscribe to the capital case, because the next case is already waiting.